Hey YouTubers, today we have a Black & Decker older lawnmower that we're going to see if we can rehabilitate a little bit. It's got a few problems. This is probably about 25 years old, and this is a pretty common one. The model number is MM850, so Mary 850, and it's got a couple of problems. It's been a good machine though through the years. This little piece broke, which is part of holding this shut. These foam pieces are getting kind of worn out, and the main thing is when you start it, the motor hesitates. Finally gets up to pretty good speed, but it takes a while, and also it seems unbalanced. So I'm going to try and start it. Let's see if you can listen. So it's not sounding quite right. We'll see if we can get this working better. So we're going to unplug it, and we'll lean it on its side just to give us some more access, more space to work. Make sure it's unplugged. We're going to take off the blade here. We're going to be using, let's see, which one are we using here? This is a 3/4 inch. I'm going to get something to grab this metal plate with. Grabbing that metal plate with a pair of channel locks, and then I'm going to use some force here to go lefty-loosey. Okay, that broke loose. So we're taking off this 3/4 inch nut here. Take that off. I'm going to stack this plate on top of that. Take off this piece. Take off the blade. Okay, take off the fan, the motor fan to keep the motor cool. We have to replace this piece. So at some point this piece broke, and we got a new one on the internet. We'll see if it's the right size. This this lifts off like that. Here's a new one. This is a Black & Decker part 680812-00, and we're going to see if that might help with that balance problem. It just was sounding weird. That seems good. So we're going to use a 3/8 drive to loosen these 3 bolts here, and these will be used to take out the motor, and we just want to clean the motor really good. So we're going to take these out, and then we're going to flip it over and take off the green cover that's protecting the motor. So just 3/8 and spin these off. Last 3/8 coming out. There's the motor pops out. So we're going to flip it over and get this cover off. There's Phillips head screw there, one here, and then we can pop this off. Okay, got that one out. Now some of these may be just covered with dirt and stuff through the years, so you may want to get all that out there first. I already loosened a couple of these. There we go. Okay, get that off. Alright. There's our motor. Just get it all cleaned up. I'd like to replace these brushes, so I'm going to spin out this Phillips head here and take off this little plate. Okay, now got this little spade connector we're going to lift out right here. I'll lift the brush out. It still looks pretty good. Still a fair amount of brush in there. We'll put the new one in. Carbon brushes. And we're going to be replacing that one there. So it's just been crimped in right there. So uncrimp that, pop the new one in apart. Yeah, looks good. A little buildup of stuff there. Probably got too hot. Cooling fin was messed up, so maybe it just got overheated. So we're going to get this all cleaned up. Alright, I'm just going to spray in here with some electrical cleaner. This is QD contact cleaner. Get this at Home Depot in the electrical section. Spray in on here, and plus I'm going to use an eraser to clean off those contacts. Spraying it on this side, same thing.
If this video is helping you, please consider pressing down in the lower right hand corner of your screen the subscribe button, and that really helps our channel. Thanks.
Use a little canned air to get in there and get better performance out of this motor once we get it clean. I'm going to seal up this piece of plastic here where the holes are, because I think some of the dirt was getting through to the motor. That'll be next, and we'll change out these brushes. This one has a little bit of buildup, probably from overheating. So while I have this open, I'm going to clean this part right here. If you can look, you see that it's not really bright right there. It's brighter up there, the copper. So using a pencil eraser, try to get rid of some of the darkness on the commutator. So it gets a little bit brighter, and that's just getting some of the stuff off of there. Then you can see that one is a little bit brighter than that one. Then you can just rub off that stuff on a piece of cloth, would be fine. Then you go to the next one and just do the same thing. Just keep rubbing it until the eraser is taken up all that gook and it's nice and shiny again. You could also use a wire brush, would work. It's not too coarse. Okay, looks good. So I'm going to just turn it a little bit so I can expose the next one, and I'll go ahead and do the whole piece like that. Just take you a few minutes. Erased, now we're just going to get it super clean with the contact cleaner. And that's just going to make that motor run a little stronger. It's just going to have better amount of electricity, more electricity coming in. Alright, so I uncrimped this connection here, pulled this piece out, got this old one out. These are the old motor brushes. There's the old one, here's a new one, and you can see the surface is a little cleaner on the new one, and the new one is a little longer. That might represent about 4 or 5 months more use. So we'll go ahead and put a new one in. What I'll do is just get that wire in, and then I'll crimp it to hold it in nice and tight. The new brush in, so I'm going to just push it inside the wire inside that channel, put the brush in, compress it. We're going to push it in inside this plastic housing. Sit down in there. We put on this plastic piece, goes on top. Clean that up a little bit. Boy, that spider webs and dirt gets everywhere. Okay. So we'll go ahead and put this back in. Put that wire down in there. That back on. We're going to put a little screw in there to hold it. Goes in the, yeah, that's the right hole right there. Tighten that up. We'll do the other one. Tighten up that Phillips head screw. Nice and tight. Let's flip it around to this side. We'll do this motor brush. So there's another part right here. It's called a rectifier, and I believe that's taking the voltage in 120 volts AC and rectifying it to DC current. So if all of a sudden your motor isn't working, could be you just have to replace this black thing here called the rectifier. Okay, so we're going to do this other motor brush. Just got to spin off this Phillips head screw. So I did put a little bit of lubricant in here in this bearing surface and on the other side, since I had it open. Take off that cover, pop out this housing. There we go. And there is our motor brush. So that's something you don't want to see. See how it's all burned up in there? I think it was getting too hot, but it's probably because the cooling fins were broken off, so the motor's just getting too hot. So I'm going to uncrimp this and then put a new one in. So feed that inside there and then squish it down so it's all crimped. It's a nice tight connection. Okay, it's nice and tight. So I'm going to load that back into this guy. You just get the wire to go inside that channel, compress it, and then you can go ahead and push it in. And we're going to just sit this down inside here. Put a little plastic cover back on. We'll put that screw back in. Alright, and we have a clean motor now. We have new brushes. We have a motor that the bearings have been lubricated. So we're almost ready for reassembly. Just got to clean up a little bit more. And I would like to get rid of this kind of hole right here where stuff was leaking in. So I got a little hole in the plastic here. I'm going to fill it. Get some 2-part epoxy. So this is just like 5-minute stuff. Dries pretty fast. Get that on there. And that'll just keep more junk from getting in there. Because otherwise that motor could get pretty dirty. Fill that channel in there. Just gonna put the motor back on. I got one of the screws coming through here. Go ahead and start the threads. And go ahead and tighten that up from the other side. It's just gonna hold it. So I got those 3 bolts in there, just tightening them up now. Hold on the motor, and we'll go ahead and put the top case back on, and we'll reassemble the blade here on the bottom. We're just going to make sure all the connections are good. We got it powered up. Let's see if the motor's going to be okay. It's good. Cool. Clean it up a little bit more. Put that bearing back on. Put the fan back on. Keep it cool. So when we put this back together, we put on that metal bearing first, then we put on this plastic cooling fan, and next we put on the blade, and we did sharpen the blade before putting it back on because it's got a little dull. If you look at the blade, there's like a little raised area here, and that's just so you can't put it on backwards. So you want not the raised part pressing against the fan, but the flat part. And then you put on the plastic piece. I don't know if you guys can see it. So one of these, and that holds on to the blade inside here. And then there's a metal piece that goes on top of that. And then you put on that nut, you hold the blade and get that really tight. So that's looking good. Cooling fan's good. We'll go ahead and fire it up, see how it sounds. Blade on there, got it plugged in. Sounds good. You get a little sparks when you come off the throttle. Looking good. Alright, we're going to put it back together. Go ahead and put the top back on. There we go. We're going to put those Phillips head screws back in. Alright, so we rebuilt the motor, put new brushes in, got a new bearing put in, lubricated it, cleaned the whole inside area, sealed off an area where dust was getting in, got a new piece of hardware here, new connector, wrapped these again, sharpened the blade, see if it's any good. Yeah, that's great. Just like new. Wow. So rebuilding the motor is a good approach, and don't have to junk this lawnmower. Cool.
Watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions. And also, if you need to have a FaceTime meeting with me or a Zoom meeting, you can click on one of the links below in the description and we can set up a 15-minute or 30-minute video conference where we can work on your appliance problem. So thanks again for all your support and for watching the video.